welcome. Today we're making this bunny spinner card. I love this little bunny. I think he's really cute. He's got a really cute little tail. The way these work is that before you put them in the envelope, you should twist your bunny up. And then you're going to go ahead and slip them into your envelope. And then when the recipient pulls them out of the envelope and lets go of this flap, he spins around. Let's do that one more time. So he does a little dance. These are really fun to send to kids. They have a really good time playing with these. I have a really good time playing with these. They're just kind of a fun little different card. So let's get to it. Let me show you how to make this. Alright guys, so let me show you how I built this card. First off, we're starting off with a half a sheet of normal cardstock, which I scored in half. And I'm going to burnish or really make sure that that fold is really folded well. And then the first step that I'm going to do, and my MISTI doesn't fit under the camera really well, but I'll do my best here to show you what I did, is I'm going to put my paper inside the MISTI. And I have a background stamp on the door of my MISTI already. And in the same color ink, I am going to ink up my background stamp. And close this door and give this a good push. So now that I have the flower background on the back of this card, but we're not done yet. Now what we're going to do is pull this up, and we are going to put the card in the exact same spot, and I have it marked in the corner of my MISTI. See if I can slide this up. So in here I know exactly where I had it the first time, so I'm just putting it back in again a second time. Re-inking my background stamp. Stamping it yet again. Now we're going to do this one more time. I'm going to flip the card over, put it back in the MISTI exactly where I had it the first time, and again ink it up and stamp. Now there's a reason we're doing this. It is a small thing, so if you ever do this at home and you mess it up, it's not a big deal. Probably most people will never notice it, but I'll show you what it does for your card. So this is the third time we've stamped it. Just going to push down here a little more. And now we can take this out. And we have the flower pattern stamped 3 times on our card base. Now the reason we did this is so that when we score at 2 1/8 on this side here, we're going to fold this here. Okay, now that we have this folded, this was folded at 2 1/8. What this does by stamping it that way, it allows the pattern, even when this is folded, to be continuous. So even though part of the petals are here, the flower continues over here. So again, if this is not perfect, probably no one will notice, but that was the reason I put the paper in the exact same place and stamped it on all 3 sides, so that the card in this position would look like the pattern is continuous all the way across. All right, our next step is to take a die, and I'm going to center this on the card, and I'm going to use a little piece of Post-it tape to hold it there. And now I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine. Okay, this is going to pop right off. This piece here is recyclable, so I'll just throw that in the recycle bin. I'm also going to take a white piece of paper, actually I already did it, and cut a white circle, which is going to be the inside of our card. So what you can do is fold your card back down at this point, and you're going to take your white circle and you're going to glue that right into this spot. All right, our next step of this process is going to be taking our card. I'm going to fold this part back. So I'm folding this part back, and I'm going to place this inside a stamp platform. I'm trying to move this up so you can see. There we go. And I'm going to hit the bottom of this with an anti-static powder tool. just so the powder won't stick unnecessarily. And then on the door of the stamp platform, I already have our stamp. I'm going to ink it up with Versamark. And I found that one of the things I found for tips for embossing is stamping it twice. So putting it in a stamp position, it really does make a difference. All right, so now we're going to pull this out and we'll set our stamp platform aside. And I'm using a little bit of Ryan's artwork here as a background piece of paper. And I'm going to put the white embossing powder onto the card. And now I will heat set this. All right, at this point we have the background of our card completely done. We can set this aside. So you should have your white circle glued in place, your embossing done, and we'll just set this aside and we will do the coloring of our bunny and accessories. Okay, so the next step of this project is to go ahead and color your bunnies. I'm going to use Copics to do this. You are, of course, welcome to use any medium that you feel comfortable with. I'm going to leave the coloring in here so you can watch me if you'd like to. Also, feel free to skip forward so you don't have to waste your time watching me color if you don't want to. I'm coloring dark to light today because I'm fairly confident in where the shadows are for this bunny. But if you are not confident, please color light to dark if you're using Copics. I have a feeling this bunny will be a little darker than my original, but that's fine. I just wanted a gray bunny. glad that many of you guys decided to participate in this virtual class. This whole mess with the coronavirus has really disrupted all of our lives, and hopefully this provides you guys with some time to feel creative and do something to take your mind off of all the stuff that's going on in the world. I'm thankful to be able to prepare all this. I think I needed a distraction. I don't think I realized how much I needed a distraction until I started to sit down and do this, and I just realized like how nice it is not to think about all the news and all the people suffering out there right now. And I'm so very thankful that you guys are safe, my family's safe, and just at any rate, it just helps kind of bring all this home and makes us feel and remind us what to be thankful for and what really matters in life. If you are still watching me shade and stuff, if you could notice, I am not doing anything fancy. This is super fast, super quick shading. Certainly not doing anything super fancy here. I think this card design has enough wow factor that you don't have to wow them with your coloring. And I'll have all the colors listed on the blog for those who want to follow along with that. I'm debating about what color to do that bow tie. On my original, I think I will stick with purple. I did purple. The reason I guess I was debating is because the purple is real subtle. It's not a real bright color, but I guess it's not meant to be a focal point. It's just meant to be cute. So I was thinking about doing it red, but I don't want to make his nose and the bow tie red. Okay, now that I have all these colored, I'm just going to take my time to, oh wait, I forgot his ears, and cut these out. Okay, and I'm not doing anything with his tail because on the original, I just put a little bit of glitter. So once I get the card all together, I'll do that, but I'm not going to spend any time doing anything on his tail because we can always just add the glitter there later. Okay, I have all these cut out. One of the things that I wanted to point out was I did not cut the white out of the center of the Easter basket. This is going to sit on top of a white circle, so you don't need to do that extra step because it won't show. The same thing with the inside of the carrot. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So I didn't, go to like extreme measures to cut around the green because that's kind of fragile. The other little thing I wanted to point out is when you're cutting these out, these are going to be mirror images of each other. So I kind of stacked them back to front this way and made sure that the whiskers were kind of the same shape. I just kind of trimmed around them like this so that they were, I left the white in between. I'll put it like this so you can see. So I left the white in between so the whiskers weren't fragile and they didn't break off. But I also wanted them to be cut at the same angle on each side, so I kind of cut them together, if this makes any sense, so that when they're sandwiched, it looks like one bunny and not two bunnies. I hope that makes some sense. All right. If not, let me know and I will try to do better explaining what I mean here. All right, so I'm taking some tape. This is just Post-it note tape. Scotch tape would work. It's just this I have sitting on my desk. So I'm going to use this. And you have a piece of fishing line in your kit. So I'm going to take and temporarily tape the top of the fishing line down to some paper. And then you're probably not going to be able to see both of these on camera, but I'm just going to pull the fishing line down and tape the bottom. This just allows you to work with the fishing line a little bit so that it's not flopping all over your desk, causing problems. So again, I'm just making a straight line down so that the line is straight and taut and not flapping all over. And what I'm going to do is put the back of the bunny under the fishing line, and I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to tape the fishing line to the back of my bunny, and I want the fishing line to go through the center of my bunny. And I just put a couple pieces of tape there to try to keep that down. Now I'm going to take a little bit of wet glue and I'm going to put it all over the back here of my bunny friend. And now I'm going to put the top, so I'm making a little bunny sandwich around my fishing line. Okay. And now I can just let him dry. And now I can take my card base here, and while that's drying, I can build the rest of my card. So here I decided I can put a little glue on the back of my basket. And put my basket over here. Let's see. Put a little glue on the back of the Easter egg. And a little bit of glue on the back of the carrot. So we're kind of just setting a few things down that will go around our bunny to make it look a little bit more Eastery. So there's that. Now we also have the bow tie. We can also glue that to the front of our bunny. So you can glue the bow tie on. And if you have tweezers or whatever, you can use all your fun things to help you hold the little tiny bow. Now, if you don't like the bow, again, feel free to leave that off. I feel like it gets a little lost on there. That's why I was debating about coloring it a different color, but in the end, purple is a very Eastery color, so I thought that made sense. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my string up. I saved my tape because I'm going to reuse the tape here again in a minute. Now, I've noticed I got a little bit of white paper sticking out. I can get my bunnies lined up as well as I would have liked. So I'm just going to trim off this little bit of white because it's bothering me. So do a little bit better job than I did lining up your bunny. But there you go. So you do have a bunny on a string. And that's what you should have here. Now what we're going to do is take our card and we're going to lay our card open like this. And we're going to lay our bunny where we want our bunny to go. And I'm going to use my tape again. And I'm going to tape my fishing line down. And I want my fishing line to rest right in the score mark of my card for now. And you're going to have your bunny be placed right in the middle of that circle, or towards the bottom, I guess, if you want it to rest against the Easter egg and the carrot, like so. And the best thing I found that works for this, I'm just going to set my scissors right here to keep the card open, is glossy accents. But you don't have to use this. Any type of glue will work. In the end, you're not going to see this a whole lot. You're not trying to dump it on. But what I found is if you just put a little bit of glossy accents into the fold of the card and let the strings rest in it, you're essentially gluing the string onto the front of your card. But you can use any type of glue you like. You could use this glue. I just think this glue, the glossy accents, is a little stronger than this. So that's why I'm choosing to use that, but you could really use either. And I'm just making sure my fishing line is reeling in that glue. And now I'm going to let this dry. It will take a half hour, maybe a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to leave this and we'll check back in after it's. Okay, our card should be dry so we can pull up our tape. And then I just took scissors and trimmed the fishing line off where at the edges of the card, and those little scraps just become trash. And then this gets folded back again. All right, so now we've made our 2 little bunny cards. I hope you guys have a lot of fun playing with your spinner. I hope someone enjoys your little spinner card. A couple little finishing touches. I went back and added with a black gel pen some dots to his eyes. It just made them a little darker so they're a little more prominent. I put a little white highlight on his nose, and I added some glitter to his butt. Now this did take about another hour to dry, so you want to keep that in mind before you play with it or stick them in an envelope, that you want to make sure that that's dry. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make a bunny spinner card. Again, I really appreciate you participating with me on this virtual card class, and we'll see you soon.